let's talk about everything that I read in July. Now, you might not be able to notice this, but I definitely do. I've just got a brand new camera. I am very, very excited about this because I feel like it's really going to help enter me into my YouTube era. As much as I don't mind filming on my phone, I've wanted a camera for ages, so I'm very excited. I will say, however, I did just have an absolute panic. So there are two little like furry windscreens on the microphones. They're magnetic. I took them off to set up the camera. I then picked one up and was like, where's the other one? I cannot tell you how much I just tore this living room apart trying to find them, only to discover they were connected. They were stacked on top of each other. They had magnetized together. So that was a little bit embarrassing. However, we have now got both of them on, we're all set, we're ready to go, and we're going to talk about what I read in July. I set myself 5 books to read in July. I read 3. One of them wasn't on the list, okay? So we're just going to go through them now, and I will talk about the ones that I didn't read at the end. So we'll start off with the one that I didn't pick in my July TBR, but has ended up in here anyway, which is Chelsea Curto's Face Off. Now, the reason that this ended up in here is because I started a book club, which you can join on Fable. I will leave the link below so that you can go and check it out. We're currently reading Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, which I'm really enjoying. I've wanted to start a book club for ages, but I wasn't quite sure if people were going to be interested or want to join. So I did a quick kind of poll on my TikTok and lots of people were interested. So that's what ended up happening. And because most of my followers on TikTok are hockey fans, I thought I would start with a hockey book, and I chose one that a lot of people had recommended to me, which is of course Face Off. I also saw that one of my favourite YouTubers, Emmy, was reading this, so that kind of further solidified the choice for me. And I saw that she loved it and I had really high hopes. And I didn't love it. I'm really frustrated that I didn't as well, because I absolutely love the concept. So our story follows Emmy, who is our FMC, and she's the only woman in the NHL. The author says at the beginning of this, the PWHL didn't exist when she wrote the book. She's very excited that the PWHL does exist. For those of you who are not hockey fans, the PWHL is the Pro Women's Hockey League. It's the first league that has actually paid women to be able to play sport and that be their only job, rather than having to have lots of other jobs because they weren't being paid properly. And it's the first that's really been set up to actually support the development of a pro league. Anyway, that's by the by if you don't like hockey, but I obviously do. But she joins this team and she meets our MMC, Maverick. I really disliked Maverick. That is why I didn't like this book, because obviously in a romance book, you kind of need to like both characters, or at least I do. I need to like both characters to be able to root for them. And I just found him so annoying. I have since shared these thoughts on TikTok, and a lot of people were like, the first book is not as good. The other books in the series are really good. Maverick is annoying. So I feel a little bit more justified because everyone else in my book club was like, I love this book, 4 or 5 stars. I give it 2.75 stars. I just found it, I don't know, I just got to a point where I was skimming massive chunks of text because I just did not care. I wasn't invested. And I loved her as a character. I thought she was amazing. She's really feisty. Even though she has some imposter syndrome, she's not taking any shit from anyone. And I love that. And I just find it really frustrating that she ends up with someone he's just your stereotypical guy in these romances where he's like, oh, I don't believe in love. And then he's like, oh my God, I'm in love. And there are ways to do that where it's endearing, and I just didn't find it endearing on this one, unfortunately. I'm panicking now because my camera is now flashing that the battery is low, so I'm just going to see how far we can push this and hope for the best and hope it doesn't cut me off midway. Face Off. I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, which is a real shame. I will give the second book a go because I do want to see if I do end up really enjoying, because I enjoyed the universe. I just didn't enjoy one of the characters, and that kind of ruined it for me. And also, just to say, if you did enjoy this book, I'm not telling you you're a bad person or that your opinions are not valid. One of my favourite things about books is that it's very personal. It's very personal whether you end up really loving the book or really hating the book or being somewhere in between. And that was kind of honestly one of the best books that we could have started with for my book club, because it created a really good discussion. There were lots of people who didn't enjoy it and lots of people who did, and everyone was very kind to each other and enjoyed a discussion without being mean. But anyway, we'll move on to Gwen and Art Are Not in Love by Lex Croucher. I did a whole reading vlog on this. You can see my thoughts in a little bit more depth over there, but I think I gave it 3 stars. I really enjoyed it. I love a Lex Croucher book. I really love the characters that they write. They're always really lovable. They're always really funny. I always have a proper giggle reading their books. So this is set in medieval times, I think. Medieval? Yes? There's knights. It must be medieval. It's definitely medieval. It's set on the backdrop of a jousting tournament. There is Gwen and there is Art. Obviously, Gwen is a princess. Art is a nobleman. They have been betrothed since they were babies and they are now of age, and their parents are like, you guys, you gotta start hanging out. You gotta start courting with each other. We gotta get this ball rolling, which would be fine if they didn't hate each other's guts. They hate each other. They absolutely despise each other. They've spent time together growing up and they just find the other one super, super annoying. And then the plot thickens because Gwen discovers Art with a stable boy, and Art discovers her journal where she is writing about the only female knight in the jousting tournament. So they kind of go, hold on a second. So they're kind of making this agreement to not cover each other's tracks, but keep each other's secret and pretend that they're courting so that other people don't catch on. It gets extra complicated though, because then Art discovers, might have feelings for Gwen's brother, who's gonna be the future king. It's really good. It's a really good book. I really enjoyed it. As I said, the characters are super lovable. By the end of it, you feel really happy about how each character is developed. As I said in the reading vlog, I would have liked a little bit more of a delve into the world and into the politics. Because of something that happens later, I think it would have been useful to know some more of the politics. However, it's a YA book, and I'm aware that the focus isn't on the politics. Again, a very personal thing for me that I'm like, I would have liked to know a little bit more how that court worked. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I love Lex Croucher books and will continue to read them and add them to my TBR. Liz Tomford, Rewind It Back. Liz Tomford, my queen of sports romances. I've never found a sports romance series that I've loved as much as hers. She has a fantastic way of making you care about the characters, and I just, I love them all so much. This is the 5th and final book in the Windy City series. They're interconnected standalones, and I would recommend you read them all, not just because they're my favourite series, but because the characters kind of make appearances in the others, and particularly for this one, it's nice to have a bit of the history. I say particularly for this one because this book focuses on Rio, and he has been kind of the punchline, the butt of the joke of all of the other books. He's the guy who never gets the girl, he's never got any game, they really take the piss out of him. And I'm like, what is up with Rio? He can just never get a girl and he clearly wants one. And then we find out why. It is because he is still yearning after his childhood sweetheart. He is yearning after Miss Hallie Hart. I love this. I love the back and forth between the past and the present. It's got a real nostalgic feel to it. And I just like that you slowly get this reveal of why they stopped talking. They haven't spoken in about 6 years. They have sworn off each other. They never want to hear from each other again. They don't want to hear their names being spoken. And then she moves in next door to Rio. And then he accidentally hires her to interior design his house. Is that the way you say interior design? Just design. No, because it's the interior. I don't know. I don't know what the proper wording is there. She's making his house look nice. But yeah, you get this very slow reveal as to why they stopped talking. Which I really enjoyed. You kind of get these little elements and you're like, oh my God, which I really enjoyed. I really like the way that Liz Tomford did that. I think I gave this one 4 stars. Honestly, on reflection, maybe I should have given it higher, but I feel like my 5 stars, 5 is reserved for like, I think this book is life-changing. I love it so much, or it just genuinely stirred up such an emotion in me. This did stir up some emotions, but maybe not enough for a 5 star, but I still really, really enjoyed it. I know that she is writing another series, thank the Lord, because I'm not ready for her to stop writing yet. Might have to do a bit of a reread on this as well, but I loved it. Read this book, okay? Read this book. Okay, and then the ones that I didn't get to. Now, actually, technically, I did get to the Sarah J Maas books I was reading. I was doing the tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. However, I haven't finished it. Doing a tandem read's hard. Doing a tandem read when one of the books you have on Kindle and one of them you have on an audiobook is even tougher, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I could listen to an audiobook now, but I'm like, oh, I need to read the Empire of Storms chapters and those are on my Kindle. Or sometimes I'm like, oh, I could really read my Kindle, but I need to listen to the audiobook. So I could just buy the same format of both, but I don't want to. I don't want to spend the money. So I haven't made it through that yet. And this is generally what happens with me with Throne of Glass, is that I read like 2 or 3 books on the trot and then I have to take a break. So maybe that's just what's happening right now. And then I chose Zodiac Academy. Now, I had a friend who recommended this to me. I've had some of my favorite YouTubers recommend this. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into it, and I wish I could, because I've heard such great things about it, but I just didn't, it didn't grip me. I find it really difficult when a fantasy book starts in the modern world. I don't like it. I don't like it. It immediately takes me out of it. I'm like, no, I don't want to know about your iPhone. I want to know about your whimsical fairyland. And maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. And sometimes that can happen, particularly because I'm a big mood reader. It just sometimes isn't the right mood. I wasn't in the right mood for it. So I might come back to it. I'm never saying never, but I'm saying not right now. And that is everything that I read in July. Let me know if you've read any of those down below and what you thought of them. And come back here for my August TBR video, where we're going to be picking out everything that I'm going to be reading for August.